In this video, I'd like to explain fluid stress tensor versus solid stress tensor. For incompressible fluid or viscous stress tensor is given by this equation. Tau ij E mu E ij dot. E ij dot is strain rate tensor, Here, variable u means velocity components. u1 equal u, u2 equal v, u3 equal w. So the rate of strain rate tensor is given like this. So in matrix form, fluid or viscous stress tensor equal E2 mu strain rate tensor. Mu denotes the viscosity. You see strain rate tensor looks like this. The viscous stress tensor is given by this equation. You see for incompressible fluid, so-called Newtonian fluid, Newton's law of viscosity are given like this. Especially U, V, W means the components of fluid velocity field. In the meanwhile, solid stress tensor is given for elastic isotropic material. Solid stress tensor tau ij is given by this equation. Tau ij equal lambda e epsilon kk delta ij plus 2z epsilon ij. You see it. This equation is called generalized Hooke's law. Lambda is Raman's elastic constant. It's given by the Poisson ratio, Young's modulus elasticity. Z denotes the shear modulus elasticity. G given by this equation. Strain tensor given by this equation, especially the variable u, I means displaced components. U1 equal u, u2 equal v, u3 equal w. In contrast to the viscous stress tensor, the strain tensor for solid stress tensor is given by the displaced components. Especially shear strain gamma ij is defined by this equation. Then solid stress tensor looks like this, especially normal stress is denoted by the sigma x, sigma z. The strain tensor gives by the normal strain epsilon x, epsilon y, epsilon z, and shear strain. The shear strain is defined by these equations. Then generalized Hooke's law. Generalized Hooke's law is given by these equations. This generalized Hooke's law can be derived by the equation 14. Then we have some tensor manipulations. Then we have epsilon kk given by this equation, and using the property of Kronecker delta, then we have these equations. Then some manipulations, then we have the generalized Hooke's law can be obtained like this. So, in summary, fluid or viscous stress tensor is given by the strain rate tensor. Then the fluid stress tensor is related by the strain rate tensor equation 1. The proportional constant is 2 mu. Mu is viscosity. Especially strain rate tensor is defined by this equation. Here, UI denotes the velocity, fluid velocity components. Meanwhile, solid stress tensor, the solid stress tensor and solid strain is given by the generalized Hooke's law using these equations. Especially the strain tensor given by this equation is UI means displaced components. Especially we have the definition of a shear strain gamma ij is given by this equation. Then strain tensor for solid stress tensor is defined by this equation, especially the epsilon xy is by the half of the shear strain. For mechanical in mechanical engineering, this generalized Hooke's law is well known. These equations can be derived by the generalized Hooke's law in tensor notation. Then we have equation 14. Equation 14 is equivalent to the generalized Hooke's law, the famous equations in mechanical engineering, equation 25, 26, 27. That's all. Thank you very much.